Welcome to this post-game media edition of Talking Hoosier Baseball. Today is Friday, March 10th, 2023. The Indiana Hoosiers baseball team defeated the Bellarmine Knights by a score of 9-7 in comeback fashion. The media after the game had a conversation with both head coach Jeff Mercer and outfielder Morgan Colopy.
Just with Bobby again, just seems like you put him anywhere and he just sort of hits a double.
Yeah.
Just what about him? What about his approach has been so consistent these past 3 days with really driving the ball down the field?
Well, it really comes back to his posture over the plate. And if you look at him earlier in the year, he's more upright. And Bobby kind of so Bobby's a tight wound athlete, and so we've talked about this now for 2 or 3 years with Bobby, trying to find the right stance for him. And his natural inclination is to want to be taller, and he has to force himself to have really good posture. And when he doesn't, you'll see him kind of get upright a little bit and then get steep and he'll cut the ball. And when he has really good posture out over the plate like that, he's really dangerous, hits the ball really hard. And so, we talked about yesterday, getting back home and being able to practice and spend time and watch video and have a body of work. And so you trusted him. They're even in the 8th, I said, hey, if Hunter gets on, let's try to drag the first pitch here and then put the guy on second and make him make a play. And if not, then go have your at bat. Just because you felt like he was in a good position and he bangs that ball off the wall, and we're kind of in business. I would like to see us, obviously, Travelers runs in. But, putting Bobby, you're trying to play the numbers a little bit, but we felt like this was a good matchup for him and putting him higher up in the lineup. And he's just been really good. He's tough and tough with 2 strikes. He can bunt a little bit. He can run, and when his posture is right, he's really dangerous. And he was really good today.
How do you balance the elation of winning 2 comeback games? You were down yesterday, scored late. You were down, obviously, 5 early. You've gotten away with it and come back, which does show resilience. But obviously, you can't get away with that indefinitely, falling behind early and having to come back. So how do you balance the elation of winning with making sure not to get too far behind?
Yeah. Well, I thought 2 things. One, I didn't think that we didn't play very well to begin yesterday. Yeah, and their pitcher was really good. He's a transfer from Louisville. I mean, he's talented enough to beat you. And he pitched really well. I didn't think we played well. We had some base running mistakes, did some things that were really kind of against our fundamentals that we talk about. Today wasn't that case. They just played really well the first 3 or 4 innings. And we had to kind of change things up from our original plan. They're so aggressive early to fastballs. And so we kind of thought, with obviously with Ben, but then Vega with kind of the change and the slider, and they were unfazed. And then we kind of changed tactics and was like, okay, let's go to the sinkers. And so you have to tip your cap to them because they played really well. It wasn't like we necessarily played poorly. We had to play at the plate in the first inning where they overrun third base, and then we dropped the ball at the plate or high throw. If we just make that play, that wipes 3 runs off the board, and that's a play that we'll normally make. So you kind of have that, but baseball is a hard game, and so when somebody else plays well, you kind of have to tip your cap a little bit and then find a way to fight back into the ball game. So those are all really good lessons to learn. Yes, as a coach, what little hair I have left, I would rather keep and not have to be in those positions, but they're great lessons to learn, and we've done that, I think, 4 times now. And so that is a great quality to have about a group that's tough and resilient and competitive and composed and has the ability to string it together and do that. So, yes, I would rather not do it, but those things are going to happen over the course of the season, and to do it early in the year is a good quality to know as you stack these games up to the course of the season that hey guys, we're still on this. Hey, we're still on this. There's going to be another time this year where somebody just comes out and plays really well. They get a bunch of hits and score runs, and we have to be able to just chip away at it and find a way to put it away. So the eternal optimist in me says it's a good thing. My heart says, like, let's see if we can not do that. But I'm proud of them. I'm very proud of them. Aiden Decker-Petty and Craig Yoho and Crafty and those guys, they did a great job.
Freshman pitching comes through for you again. What just in general, what are you wanting? What are you thinking about your freshman pitchers right now?
I'm thrilled with them. I think only a fool wouldn't, as a coach, would not be just ecstatic. And we've known they were talented. We knew them. We knew that them coming in this year, kind of like the position guys last year, this was going to be a good group of pitchers, and we just wanted to kind of protect them early, and then when they were ready to kind of to open it up and let them pitch. And the thing that they've done a really good job of, and Coach Clint's done a good job of, is preaching to attack the zone. And now sometimes it kind of works against us a little bit with a team like this that's so ultra aggressive, and they're hitting the first one up and over the white. I mean, they're on go, and so sometimes that can work against you. It has a little bit where, previously it's kind of worked to our benefit where we've been able to get ahead in counts and guys are swinging from behind. But those young guys, what they have is they have a great combination of a mentality to attack and compete in the strike zone, and they have stuff. And as much as we all want to say pitchability and those things, which is true, and there's a place for it, stuff wins. Stuff wins in college baseball. Stuff wins in professional baseball. Stuff wins when stuff's in the zone. And those young guys have premium stuff, and they're in the zone. And so it's time for them, as you've seen, it's time for those guys to take another step and to continue to go into more prominent roles. And I'm thrilled that those guys are doing it. As a coach, I'm really thrilled that they're freshmen. So you have those guys for a period of time, and you can really build around those guys as a core group. But yeah, I could not be happier, especially for Aiden Decker-Petty today. My goodness, to have his first outing this week and then to be put in that situation and to do so well is super exciting.
Take a couple more. Ryan Kraft, a few different positions this year, sometimes long reliever. Is this sort of the beginning of him being molded into that closer role?
Yeah, he and Craig, at kind of at the beginning of the year, looking at their stuff metrically, both of them are former position players, which helps a ton. Ryan was a great first baseman. Ryan actually came here more as a two-way guy. And then the first week of practice, he came up to me and said, "Hey, I think I'm just going to pitch." And I said, "Okay, that's a good idea." But you trust him. He's got a slow heart rate. He can get off the mound, fill his position. And then Craig came in as a position guy more. And so you like the versatility of those guys late in the game. They just have a really calm demeanor, and they have really good stuff. So yeah, you can see those guys developing in the back end guys. I think a lot of it depends on too is what some of the freshman guys do. What does Reisdorf do? What does Weidecker do? What does ADP do? What does a guy like Cooper Hellman do? So can those guys transition into starters, or can those guys transition to back end guys? Because Ryan Kraft could be a starter or a closer, and that's a great problem to have. It is something that we'll have to make a final decision on, but for right now, it's very relieving to look down and know that you got Crafty there for the 8th or 9th inning.
It's March, so it's obviously it's NCAA tournament time. You hear net in the other sports, which takes into account how you win. Obviously, baseball still uses RPI, which doesn't take into account how ugly or pretty a win is. Does that change the way you manage or the way you manage late if you're ahead, knowing that you're not going to get penalized for a closer than expected win, or how do you deal with that?
My philosophy has always been to win today, and then we're about tomorrow. A lot of times, really, just because you may score 6 runs in the first inning tomorrow, and you don't know. That's kind of what we did today. It was like, okay, it's the 3rd inning. We know we have the arms and the pen to be able to keep this game where it's at. And we're just going to have to trust our offense to be able to march their way back into the game. And if you kind of unload your pin and you don't come back, yeah, it can burn you. It can really hurt you because now you've put yourself in a really precarious position for the rest of the weekend. But today is the most important day. And if you've got 6 innings to work with, you got 18 outs, and you're going to have to trust your guys. And that's what we did. So it's just, I don't think too much about it. I think you obviously, when you're scheduling games, right? When you're scheduling, you look at the RPI and whatnot. But when you're in the moment and you're competing, I just always think to myself, we may score 5 runs in the first inning tomorrow. Don't look back and regret what we did today and giving one away, knowing that you win 12-2 tomorrow. That's awesome. You have a full pin, but you lost today's game in the process.
So Morgan, you swung it really well today. How did it feel to really make good contact today?
It felt good. I've just been sticking to my plan. It hasn't really been working, but just trusting my own plan, and it came through today.
Saw you in the cages here yesterday. Were you getting in some cage work, and if so, was that in preparation for today, or was that just sort of your normal routine?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was ready to go, working on getting fastballs and driving in the middle of the field. So.
How nice is it to be able to play again? Obviously, last year you missed a ton of time with injury. You're healthy now and can play. How good is it to be able to contribute now and not be on the sideline?
Well, it feels great. Nothing better than coming out here with my teammates and playing hard and playing a good team. So.
Yesterday, comeback victory. Today, sort of the same thing. Was there that sort of similar energy as yesterday with the offense in the dugout?
Yeah, definitely. With this team, I feel like no lead is safe for an opponent. We're just so tough all the way through. So, mean, we came back. We started off down, and felt strong.
Have you been working on anything in particular leading up to this particular game?
Been working on my approach, getting a good pitch over the middle and driving it hard.
With the win, the Hoosiers improved to 8-6 on the year. They're now 2-0 in the Bellarmine 4-game series. The Hoosiers will play at 2 p.m. Saturday in an attempt to win the series, and also 1 p.m. on Sunday to conclude the series. Thank you for listening to this post-game media edition of Talking Hoosier Baseball. See you at the BART.